Today is a topic of the week video, and okay, we have a really fun one for you next week. It's going to take a little prep work for that one.
Yeah.
Today's topic of the week, though, is rules that parents make and why kids think they're stupid. I think this will be a good one because there's...
I'm ready. Okay, let's go. So number one on the rule is...
See, this is why you get in trouble all the time.
I think this will be fun because this is like a really big area of contention, I feel like, for kids and parents. And it doesn't matter whether they're little kids, but teens are fun because
Why you look at me like
they
that?
understand more. And really, I feel like you start to really butt heads at a teenager because teens start to feel like
you're being hypocritical.
They're more adultish. You could feel like that because if we did something, but now we're like, okay, we don't want our kids to do that. And so...
Well, I would say that does happen, that can happen. I know I felt that way because mom started dating at like, how old?
Yeah, I was young.
Super, super young.
Yeah.
But for us, it was, we have to be 16.
Yep. And some of that is, I feel like it's going to happen to you guys too when you have your own kids. Because you're going to end up being like, man, that was a bad experience for me and I don't want my kids to go through that. So I'm going to make a rule so they don't have to go through what I went through.
Yeah.
I think that's a lot of times why that
Yes.
happens. John, what is a rule that parents have? And it could be us, or it could be maybe one of your friends' parents, or what's a rule that parents have that you think is dumb?
Probably...
All of them.
That's a really good point. This is...
I do.
Okay, I knew Emma would have a million of them.
Yeah.
And okay, I do. I get in trouble a lot. Like I get financial stuff.
Yeah.
Like money, what we spend. Mom and dad are actually pretty good at letting us spend our money on whatever we want.
Yeah, I feel
It's
like
a
it.
reasonable thing.
Within reason, right? Like we want to teach you that you need to budget and that you need to be careful where your extra money is going and you need to save and things like that. Also, sometimes kids buy things
That they think
$40
they need, but they
Labubu.
really don't.
and we just want to give some guidance. So yes.
Yes. But the rule that comes with that is opening up packages.
Oh, that only happened. I've never ever made any of the kids open up their packages with us until something happened. And then after that we were like, okay, let's maybe see what's going on in these next few. And you want to know what? I actually never even said that. I never said that. I never said you had to open them in front of me.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Going back to actual things that are relevant to this video.
Kind of like what Emma said, you were allowed to date when you were like 12. We're not allowed to date until we're 16. But John and Em have broken that rule.
Yes.
So,
I haven't.
Well, John did for sure.
yeah, for sure. You started dating at the same time you had your first kiss.
It might have been before that.
John.
I forgot.
Okay, anyway, so why did you put that rule in place?
Okay, a couple of reasons why I feel like kids shouldn't date till they're 16. One is because I feel like there needs to be a maturity with dating because technically I feel like when you date someone, you're dating them to kind of figure out what you like and you don't like. So that way when you get married, you know, right?
What you can
They
live
are.
with.
But at 13, I feel like you're still too immature and there's really it's not necessary yet.
Yeah.
At 16, the big thing is you can drive and so you could actually go on a true date. You know what I mean?
Like you could get picked up.
Like, let's
go
go
somewhere.
Yeah. And so then I also feel like there is a maturity that comes along with being 16 where you're getting closer to moving out and you're getting closer to starting to think about
obligations that
relationships and kids and your future and so I just feel like it's a more appropriate time to start dating.
Okay, I was just wondering because like 15, 14.
Yeah. Like if you're like 15 and you're dating somebody who's like 16, and you want to date somebody who's 16 who can drive, you can still go on a date.
So like with Brianna, what we did was we allowed her to go out, not technically on a date, but when she was in middle school, they would go out in groups. Yeah. So like her and it'd be like maybe 3 guys, and there'd be 3 guys and 3 girls, and they would all go out and see a movie together, or they would all go walk around the mall, or you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So we did that a lot. And with me, I feel like I had some really bad experiences when I was younger and dated, and I don't want you guys to
have to
go through those. Yeah, and so I just feel like it's so much better when you have a little bit more understanding.
When you're 15, like I cannot imagine some 15-year-olds dating right now. It's like they hardly know who they are, let alone in somebody else. And John did say something one time, and it was, I just felt like he had a good way of seeing it. It is a lot of teenagers now too are putting a lot of their emotional instability into an obsession to find somebody else because they think that that's going to help them, not feel lonely. And
that's a good point.
That's not something that somebody else can fix.
Right.
For you. And it actually will probably make it worse, honestly.
And I do feel like it's good to learn to know how to focus on yourself.
Yeah.
Because really you need to make sure that you're a priority because you're going to be the only one that really takes care of you.
The one thing I have to say is I think the reason why I never dated somebody when I was younger because I knew I couldn't date, so I did the second best thing. So what I would say is, I was just more, instead of like dating, I was just more like curious. So then I talked to guys.
Yeah.
I talked to a bunch of guys. I didn't date anybody because I was talking to everyone.
It's interesting because you had made a comment to me not too long ago about that you have learned a lot by watching your 2 older siblings date, and that you're glad that.
I was just wondering why you put that rule in place.
Yeah. But I'm just saying that I find it interesting because we have these rules, and even though the kids, like, you're curious, right? But that you actually came and said, I'm so glad that we have that rule because now that I see what's going on with them, I understand, you know? Yeah, and I think it's interesting, and that you were able to see that and say it out loud.
And I'm not dating until I'm 21, so because of what they've experienced.
Okay, and then John, the other day, John and I were talking, and so a lot of times what happens is at nighttime I'll sit down to watch TV, and the kids will sit down with me, and something always comes up. Somebody says something, or somebody has a question, and we will spend hours talking. We were talking about relationships, and you had said that you had never thought. I explained to him what like true love is.
Yeah.
Not like infatuation or feeling like you're in love in a relationship, but what true love really is. Man, that was a really great way to explain it.
I really like the way how she puts it, because from what I thought what love was like, what's love, that's just like a feeling of being happy, always being with enjoying spending time with them. Like that's kind of like the whole premise around love. But that's really just them as a person, not them as a person, their presence. And now I've learned that there's really 3 types of way you can love someone. You can either love them for their body, their presence, or for them as a person, who they truly are.
Yeah.
And the first 2 is what a lot of people do. And the second and third one are what people mostly mistaken, which I did in my last relationship.
Yeah, so I explained to him that, we have, they have their sibling love, right? Like they couldn't imagine their lives without one another. You have your parents' love, which you can't imagine your life without your parents, like you don't know who you would be without them. And that's true love. So when you look for somebody for a relationship, that's what you want. You want somebody that you don't know who you are without them. Like
that's why they say in sickness and in health.
Yeah, right. Like, you spend so much time together, you've gone through things, and it grows every day because you continue, right? So like, I can't even imagine what my life would be like without Dad.
Rules.
But you had something you were going to say.
This is more going with balance of inside and outside.
Okay.
And the reason little John, when he was 13, was feeling really rebellious, and it was because I spent a lot of my time out in Texas working with Dad, about 90% of the day, and you come in, you get like yelled at because you didn't do the dishes or something.
Or
yeah.
put your
And so like at some points, like obviously you can understand in a way, like, oh, I was supposed to do this. It was my chore responsibility.
Right. So you're talking more rules as far as making sure your responsibilities get done.
Yeah. But it can feel, like I said, really just...
like you trying to nag on it.
Yeah, nagging when you've done something like 10 times better than that benefits you. It's like...
Yes.
Be happy with what I've done, please.
Yeah. So the rule is, right, if you have a responsibility, you have to do it. But so what John's saying is, if he goes outside and helps Sean with things, then he kind of feels like he shouldn't have to do his indoor responsibilities. And I make a point to make sure that all the indoor stuff still gets done. And do you know why?
Because it's important.
Because when you have a wife, she is going to hate it if you say, well, I went to work today and worked in 10-hour shift.
Why should I have to help
I
you with
cleaned, I took care of the kids, I cooked.
Yeah. So it's good to know how to balance stuff, because even if you didn't have a wife and you just have your own apartment, you're gonna go to work all day and you're gonna come home, and who do you think's gonna do your dishes for you?
My cat.
So it's important to learn how to have a balance, because ultimately, whether you're alone or you have a wife, you're going to be responsible for doing all of that or some of that.
Yeah.
And so you will have to know how to balance things.
And as you get older, you understand that. And like I said, I think I do a pretty good job.
You do a good job.
I've spent that for like a year or so now.
Yes.
But like I said, 13-year-old John.
Yes.
He was throwing a fit.
He didn't like that. Okay, what are some other rules that you guys think are dumb?
I don't per se think like right now that they're dumb.
Yeah.
But I can see when I was younger,
years ago,
I thought that they were not necessarily dumb, but just annoying. Like when we would go on a walk and you would say two things, like, you can't go on a walk all by yourself.
Yep.
Or
you gotta bring your siblings with you.
Yeah. Well, like, and there were a couple times where like I could, but it was like I had the dogs, with me and everything.
Right.
I was like, I just want to be like, wow, Yes. And I still sometimes find that just annoying, because it's, you kind of want to get me like away from having to take, watch somebody else, but I can, like, when I see other people trying to do that, I'm like, well, that's just rude,
Yeah, right.
Yeah, double standard.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yep. And a lot of times, we'd always make you take somebody with because of safety.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And I always feel like, even in our city, where we, you live in a decent part of the city and you don't think you're going to have to worry about that stuff. There would be like some van driving around and,
I remember that.
Yeah, and people were like, it seems like they're scoping out kids, and it's like, oh my gosh, and so I just feel like you can't be too careful.
No, yeah, absolutely.
And so, but I understand. We don't, like, I feel like we don't make you take the little kids all the time.
No.
But
we can go by ourselves. We can have.
But there are times where I feel like it's nice.
Yeah. Well, especially like in the times that they like have you is when Christian or Logan maybe, and it's not just them, Lily, Gavin, any of them, are like, can I go? Like, I really want to go.
And you're like,
sure.
Your shoes on.
Like, the last, like, the rule that I like, the only rule that I said was the one that I talked about before. But the only thing is, like, with the annoying thing, just like annoyed, would be the phone rules.
Okay.
Well, like, no, going through my phone, I'm fine. There's nothing on there.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I think that is important to make sure that your kids aren't doing things that they're not supposed to.
Right.
The one rule that I find a little stupid, like, as the older that I get,
you understand it more.
I do understand it more. I do still find it a little bit annoying, is just gonna get taken away for being on it too long. For as long as we're getting this stuff done,
you feel like you
should be on it as much as you want.
Well, not as much as I want, but like I'm just saying, like. Well,
so what you're saying is as much as you want.
As much as you want.
But I'm annoyed by it, but I understand why the rule is in place.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
I get that. From a parent's perspective, now Emma is 17. She's gonna be 18 in 6 months.
Actually, less than 6 months and less than 5.
Oh, really?
4 months and 3 weeks.
Oh.
Wow, she's really counting.
I know she is counting. It goes by so fast. I feel like it was just yesterday. It was like a little over 6 months. But so as far as the phone stuff goes, kids in general have a hard time
managing themselves,
being on electronics too much. We like them, again, to have some kind of a balance between regular life and electronics. And so we do manage that time all the way up until they leave our house. So, and maybe like, I don't know, maybe if you were living here and you're 20, like it would be like, you know, okay, that's, you know, or if you lived here past 18, like we haven't come to that yet.
Yeah, no.
So I don't, but still at 17, I feel like there is a balance that you have to have. And if you go over that balance, because if we're being honest,
like 8 hours plus.
You sit on your phone all day long and we're like, okay, that's not healthy. And I still have this time, I feel like, to teach you, you know, good boundaries. And so I feel like that's what we're doing. Also, anything we put in place, I feel like there's a reason
for it.
Oh,
yeah.
100%.
Like you've broken a rule or you've broken some trust or you've done something and then we put that in place. So we always let them fail first. And I say fail
or gain trust
with I mean they've done something that they should not have.
Made a mistake.
Yeah, they made a mistake. Yes. And so then we put some kind of a boundary in place.
Yeah,
to help guide.
That's a good way to put it. Like I don't really have any restrictions or anything on my phone. I don't get taken away. I don't get managed time or anything. I actually do that myself. I manage my own time.
Her average is 17 minutes on her phone.
But yeah, with a lot of the rules, it's specialized to that person.
Yes,
you know, rules to this one person,
and that is
not
a good
to
point.
Everyone.
Yeah, because you don't have any of those rules.
Yeah, no, because I don't struggle with that. I struggle with other things.
Yeah, so it would be something that you struggle with.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's individual. I do feel like. Yeah.
Going on with that, another rule that's kind of dumb is setting standards for each person. Like it's understandable why you have to set standards for each and every single person.
Yeah.
But it also gets like annoying when you can see someone get away with so much, where if it was in your scenario, wouldn't slide by at all.
I can see where this would be incredibly difficult. And I will say that I used to be the opposite. So when we had Brianna, Declan, and Lily, I always felt like everything needed to be equal. Yep. And I tried so hard to make everything equal, but it was so difficult to do that. We had 3 very different kids. And so now that we have such a large family, I completely get where you're coming from, because it's in me to say everything should be completely fair. Like if it's this way for this person, it should be this way for this person. But we have so many kids that struggle with so many different things. So I feel like it's hard because you're trying to be as fair as possible, but yet you also have to take into consideration that there are just some kids that have certain things, certain challenges.
So when I was a lot younger, like, 6, 7, 8, 9, I probably all the way up till 10, honestly. With one of my siblings, they would, be able to get like little snacks at night, or, just kind of be able to get away with some or other things that I wouldn't be able to.
Yeah.
And I remember being so upset about it as a little kid, and you would try to explain, like, okay, yes, but this person's also like, this is why I've done that, you try to explain it to me.
Right.
I see now why, because she gives me a lot of leeway too, but it does feel like unfair as a kid.
Yeah. Probably when you can't quite understand it.
Yeah, exactly. When you can't really understand what's happening.
It's interesting too because just recently Brianna has said to me, she goes, okay, now that I'm a mom, like I get some of the things that you did that I didn't understand then. Yeah. But now that I have my own child, like I understand now.
Yes.
And I think that happens to a lot of people because there are lots of things I felt like about my mom, right? I'm like, well, that's not fair. Why won't you do that? Or and now I'm like, oh my gosh, no wonder she didn't do that, you know?
Yeah, because like as a person you think, oh, I should be able to do that, but when you have a child yourself and you see the little child, you're like, oh no.
Because you're coming more from a protective standpoint.
Yeah, and also I feel like obviously when you get older we can all see these rules, you know, for like what they are and why they're set in place. Yeah. That's because I feel like you can think beyond yourself now, you know?
So true.
You're not very selfish, I guess, you know?
You're less selfish.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, any last minute rules that you guys hate?
Nope.
It is hard.
Actually, what was one rule that you had that you hate?
I think probably all the typical stuff, like why can't I go out to this place? Why can't I do this with my friends?
I do have one, which is even now I still don't really understand it.
Okay, then you should get
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Watching a movie.
Okay.
That might be R.
Oh, why you
R-rated
can't watch
movies?
an R-rated movie?
Or if it's mature audience.
Actually, that's something I've been talking to Mom about because
it's TV-14, Mom.
Hold up, because can I?
Okay,
yeah, so I kind of get that just a little bit because when I turned 14, I wasn't allowed to watch TV-14 things.
Yes.
I understand now, you know, why, but I didn't. I'm like, I'm 14, I can watch it, you know?
I feel like TV-14 is when the rated R stuff when I was a kid, I swear.
Oh, yeah.
It's so bad. And so Emma and I just recently watched a rated R movie together. And it was like the first one, and it was funny, right? It was a funny mom one, but it was still rated R. And they were saying some things in there, and I'm like, see now why it's rated R?
Yes, but I do feel like my mom talked about it, like there are some R-rated movies where if I ask Mom, I'm allowed to watch it now.
Yeah.
Since I am almost 18 and then when I turn 18, I can watch whatever I want.
Yeah. I really feel like it's based on the person. So like, just recently I switched over Elena's stuff to PG-13, and like Emma, I feel like she's old enough to watch R, even though, you know, some of the stuff is fairly raunchy. I feel like even Twilight #1, isn't it PG-13?
Yeah. Listen, the Twilight 4 is like that to me should be like.
So so like I'll let the kids at 11 maybe watch the first Twilight, but maybe not the rest of them. Yeah. Or and even some of the movies that might be like
PG.
That are like PG-13 but maybe it's because of like Transformers, which I've never seen the movie Transformers, by the way. But I'm just saying like superhero movies.
Yeah, like Real Steel the other day, and it's PG-13.
Yeah, like there are some
there
things.
For cursing, like a little bit of cursing.
Right, and I tell the kids, right, like if you hear it, just don't say it. There is some guidance, and I'll usually just look up the movies online and say like, why is this movie rated this?
Well, there are some that I have seen. I'll send some to Mom. I have seen some PG movies that really shouldn't have been PG, like at all.
Kids have said that to me.
Standards are
like the TV, there's like a TV show.
I'll even say it, Surviving
Summer. And that TV show should not be PG.
That shouldn't even be on the platform
because they talked about certain things.
Yeah, they showed certain things
and like
crazy,
like drinking.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, so let me ask John. So you say like that's still annoying. So you want to watch rated R, but you can't. Is that?
So with my second ex, we sat down and watched Scream 1, the horror. You know, to me, it just doesn't seem like it's that important.
And
compared to movies now,
it is not.
Well, not compared to movies, not just like in general, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like for my age, I feel like this is, I don't know, I'm kind of biased because it's me, but
at least you can admit it.
It just doesn't seem like all like why care.
I could kind of, I think, answer that a little bit.
Okay.
I think it depends on the genre of movie you're watching, because there have been some funny movies where like we've sat down and watched. You've skipped,
Yes.
you know, the couple of the scenes. Like, it's
Wedding
funny.
Crashers.
I've never seen that.
That was just me and you.
That was, yeah.
Yeah,
That was just you guys.
Yeah, so, like, you guys skip that horror. It's just more about, the bloody, stuff about it.
Can you take gore?
Yeah, exactly. But there are some very raunchy rated R movies.
I feel like even then, you know, it's just like...
John wants to see.
I know.
Yeah.
I could see why you would be frustrated with that. I think I'm sure I felt the same
14,
way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do think it depends on the child. I think some kids have just more of a maturity to them that they understand things already, and some kids don't. So I do feel like it's a child by child basis.
Oh, absolutely.
But we still follow the guidelines for the most part. Okay, well that is it. Those are the rules that teenagers hate, but their parents love.
Yep. Okay.
But
Parents love.
Yeah, why their parents have those rules in the first place. Okay, I think that is it. Make sure you tune in next week because we're gonna do so. We're gonna let the kids throw a lot of questions at me and see how I can answer them.
We'll make sure it's nice and quick with it too.
Yeah. Ooh, okay. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.